The company WULF can actually have a monster November, okay? Specifically, the 11th of November can be dramatic for the company and the stock can at least double and maybe even triple until the end of the year. How all of this happened, what it's all about, while this will be happening, all about this here in this vlog.
Welcome to the game, I'm the Wolf of Dubai.
So welcome. If you don't know who I am, my name is Danny and I'm looking for stocks that can go up 10, 20, 30, 50x, right? And the last time we talked about WULF on this channel or my main channel, subscribe to both, right? WULF was at around like $9 or $10, okay? Yesterday, for the very first time in the last couple of months, it hit 50. Okay, 15. So 50% increase if you followed my video. You should really follow because, my subscribers bought even houses or apartments in the US. And I also would love to emphasize that I only mention my own product here that we worked 3.5 years for, the AutoPilot on X10 day trading, which looks like that. It's an automated software that trades for you, but the cents are made by our team of day traders, professional day traders that look on the market for 10, 12 hours and send you and all our members all the best option plays directly into your portfolio. And what we saw over the last years and also what we want to achieve is 8 to 15% growth. So with that said, we actually want to make sure that your account grows from $10,000 to $58,000. And we also do well in bull markets and in bear markets. Like, for example, yesterday, we bought puts on the market and this was like a 113% trade, which was phenomenal. Okay, so with that said, let's dive into WULF. So WULF, the last time when we spoke, was a $10 or $9 company. Okay, and I said that this is just the beginning of WULF because WULF is a company that actually provides power and sells power to different applications on a very industrial level. Okay, so let's say in the very beginning, they provided this for Bitcoin mining because Bitcoin mining needed a lot of power. And obviously the story changed and all of those Bitcoin miners actually, and we will talk about all of them. We will talk about Iron, we will talk about ADLP, okay? We will talk about all of them because they are all connected. So now they are focusing on the most important stuff, which is AI. AI needs so much power, and this is exactly what Jensen Huang from the most important AI company out there beside OpenAI just told us, okay? Listen to this clip of Jensen on CNBC, what he tells you about the power, okay? Here we go.
Anything you wanted to talk about that you feel like you haven't gotten the chance to talk about? You get people asking you questions all the time. What do you not get to talk about?
Well, let's see. What do investors most want to know from you, I guess?
Investors, I would say the thing that is even quite surprising this year, particularly the last 6 months, demand of computing has gone up substantially. And this is what's happened. Because AI went from simple one-shot answers to these reasoning and thinking AI, the results are so good. But it uses exponential amounts of computing. But the interesting thing is, because they're so good, because they're so smart, and they use exponential amounts of computing, we're seeing exponential demand, which makes sense because the AIs are smart enough that everybody wants to use it. And so we now have two exponentials happening at the same time. Demand for Blackwell is really, really high, and we're working hard to get everybody online and get AI to the next level. But I think we're at the beginning of a new build out, beginning of a new industrial revolution, and it's going to be exciting times.
And also, Elon Musk said, the leader, in all of that needs a lot of chips, a lot of power, and 1 million robots, okay? In his tweet, which is absolutely insane as well. So you can see here that, the market is needing more and more of exactly what WULF is doing. And now I love to compare to other companies, okay? And there's actually 2 or 3 companies that doing something similar. And the first one that I actually follow for a very long time is APLD. Okay, so the company is called Applied Digital Corporation, and they actually provide something similar. They are like the second stack of the AI story, right? Because companies like Google or other companies come to those companies and then they say, hey, we need a lot of power, we need a lot of data centers, build it for us, okay? And they get this billions of dollars deals. And at APLD actually got earnings. And this is the main story here for WULF as well, because on the 11th of November, they will tell us what they did for earnings. And I think this will let them stock absolutely explode, okay? But let's have a look first what happened to APLD, because I'm following the stock since May. I saw the stock at like $5. And then, you can see here what happened with the stock over the last couple of months. This is because if something is hot on Wall Street, everyone wants to have a piece of it, okay? And this happens, especially like this crazy moves of 80-90% happened directly after the earnings. Also yesterday, right? We had like a 16% day. I think the stock was up even. Meanwhile, before that crash, you can see here, they lost about 12%. So they were up like almost 30% that day, okay? So you can see that earnings are super important. Another one is obviously iron, right? Iron is exactly the same happened for the stock. So here also you see the earnings came out and the stock went up 50% in just like a short time. And from May, we have the same, right? It went up like 700%. And then when you look at WULF and compare that, then you actually see over 6 months that we have just like a 400, not even a full 400% move. So there's a lot of potential. And I love to show you one more thing. And that is why I want you to mark the 11th of November, so the 11th, into your calendar, because I think that the WULF earnings can be quite dramatic. If you're looking into the second quarter earnings of WULF, you see that they were still like, talking about Bitcoin mining. And I think that this will be the old story. So the current earnings not even reflect the new story that much. And I think that they will have maybe another deal with a big hyperscaler like OpenAI or Nvidia or, Google or Microsoft or Amazon. Microsoft came out and said they have like not enough capacity for all that AI growth that is happening, which is absolutely insane, okay? So you can see here that TeraWulf will be one of the most thought of after company in this whole AI story. Okay, and I think in the last couple of days, you can maybe get another discount to buy before that earnings happen. So when you go into the earnings, I want to give you just one important number which can absolutely transform the company. Okay, so you see here in the last earnings report, they had a loss per common share. So the EPS number was negative 5 cents. They lost about 5 cents for every share. Okay, and guess what can happen in November? With all of those deal flows, with all of those new announcements, they could maybe, it's a big maybe, but if they do, the stock will absolutely, I think it can have like a 30 or 50% day in one day, okay? So I think that they can come out and be profitable for the very first time since many, many quarters, okay? If that happens, usually you have the biggest explosion in stock price that you can. It will be a huge face ripper for all the WULF investors, okay? Because think about it. Companies, pension funds, hedge funds, other funds, they can only sometimes invest into companies that are profitable. Also, the whole story changes, right? If a company loses money, it's a huge risk. The risk obviously removes if the company starts to be profitable. And also, if they come out and say, we are not only profitable, but we have this billions and billions and billions of dollars of new upcoming revenue over the next years. So we are good for the next couple of years. That's another, big support for the shares of WULF. So I think that we are just in front of a huge breakout. And there's one more thing that I would love to show you. When I was looking into the stock on Friday, you maybe have seen that we had the earnings of APLD, which was fantastic. And then WULF actually rallied on that as well. We also made in our group a nice trade on WULF, but then the market dropped, right? So we exited another trade on WULF and we made a huge profit on the QQQ puts. But then what happened was the following. You see that in the days towards the earnings, you had the 36% increase, also because of all the AI deals are happening, okay? And then, if you're looking into X, which, shares a lot of things that are easy for you to find out, like, for example, if you put now here WULF, you will see that you will see a lot of things are happening, okay? For example, one guy that is specialized in order flow said there was a $1 million call buyer on WULF on Friday, okay? That means that he thinks, I believe that that's the story about this. He saw that the earnings of APLD was great and the stock went up 30%. And he said like, well, you know what? I will also think that this will happen to WULF as well. So I'm buying $1 million worth of calls. And then you can see here that, that was something that he bought for the 18th of June expiry and 27 as a strike price. So he thinks that by the summer of 2026, the stock will be much higher than $29 or $30 because he spent like $2.36 for the option. If the strike price is 27, you need to add the two together to have your break even. So the break even is somewhere around like 29.36. So he thinks that at least, it should be, let's say it's 35 or, $40 or $50 even. And obviously if this happens in the next couple of months, then obviously he can sell it early, right? So that was crazy. And, everybody was talking about it. Then you have a huge breakout technically on WULF as well, which was quite crazy. And, this is really all what I'm seeing here is very, very, there was one more thing. There was also non-stop call buying for WULF on Friday as well. So you can see here, everything looks really good for WULF. So make sure you have it either in your portfolio or on your watch list at least. And if you like this, share this video. And I'm seeing you obviously tomorrow for a brand new video. And remember, the grass is greener always on the other side.